There have been a bunch of issues with proof of work coins in the past week, either by the chain completely halting, coming to a very slow crawl, or just block explorers going down, etc. One of the affected coins that we already talked about was Dynex, which you can check out that postmortem on for the video that we posted yesterday. And then we've also seen this on the Kiri network, supposedly, which I'll be covering later in the week. And then the block explorer issue was on a new coin called Ethereum, which we have been briefly covering in some of the BlocX episodes on this channel. Today, we're going to be talking about BlocX, which is an X11 hash algorithm and is basically along the lines of Dash in that it does both the masternodes as well as mining. And essentially all the mining rewards have stopped and the entire reward is going to the masternodes. Let's get into it. So a few days back, actually probably almost even a week back now, the masternodes started receiving all of the block rewards for the BlocX coin. And you can see this on any of the mining pools by heading over to the mining pools and looking up the previous blocks and seeing that they are receiving 0 rewards as of now. And unfortunately, none of these rewards will end up getting paid out in the future to the miners. There's some adjustment that's going to be done that we will cover. Now, obviously, this is a huge problem because one, there's an issue there with security on the network because you only have masternodes currently securing the network. And then in addition to that, you disenfranchise the miners that were supporting your network and it'll be harder to get them to come back online. Funny enough, most people that are mining this particular coin are doing it through NiceHash, and most of the miners themselves have their Antminer D9s and D7s and D3s, etc., pointed to NiceHash and not directly to the chain. If you were pointed directly to the chain, it became quite obvious that you weren't getting any rewards. In fact, on my private pool that I had for this, I had not seen rewards in over 5 days. And then this report came out and it made a lot of sense. During that time, I did move my Antminer D9 back over to NiceHash and was still reaping pretty good rewards at over $25 a day. Reason being is it appears that people were still renting this X11 hash rate out for BlocX in particular. Unfortunately, these individual users or renters did not receive any BlocX. So here is the rundown of what happened from BlocX per their Twitter post. They go on to say, "We come to you with both a crucial update and a sincere apology. Our commitment to transparency and growth brings us here to share a recent challenge and the steps we're taking to make things right. To ensure a stronger foundation for BlocX, we're implementing a source code update with the following improvements." Now, these are their dev funds and their super block rewards, as you can see. What they were implementing that ended up breaking was whatever they were doing with the super block rewards at this 7% that somehow ended up going through and sending that reward distribution to the masternodes only and cutting out the miners when they were making these changes. There's going to be a 3% dev fund as well. We've talked about this in the past. It does say that for the super block rewards, should these funds remain unused or unallocated, they will be permanently removed or burned from the total supply, just in case you're wondering what's going on with the governance funds. Now, the reward distribution is supposed to be 45% to the miners and 45% to the masternodes. But because the miner rewards were not being sent out correctly, they are making these changes to fix that or to reconcile that. Temporary masternode reward adjustment. So effective immediately after the new fork, masternode rewards will be temporarily reduced by 10% until the next halving of masternode rewards. And so this will be a collaboration with the mining pools. This 10% reduction will be pooled together to compensate miners whose rewards were affected. Mining pools will be contacted and paid out BlocX so they would be able to distribute them to their miners. Now, this is going to be a pretty heavy load on the mining pool side of things, because they're going to have to take in additional distribution into the mining pool wallet, and then they're going to have to disperse that out through, of course, some sort of share system that's tied into the typical functioning of the mining pool. Unfortunately for the mining pool ops, this is a pretty big deal. And in addition to that, I did notice that a couple pools started having their rewards, or the actual fees that were in the mining pool wallet, go out. So it as rewards while this breakdown was happening, because the mining pool was saying, well, these miners still deserve a payout because, you know, they solved the block, or at least in theory they solved the block. But in reality, while they did solve it, the payout wasn't coming from the chain to the mining pool wallet, and therefore it drained the mining pool fees. I think this is something that BlocX should look into as well, as far as helping these pool ops. I don't think that there is going to be a huge incentive for a lot of these pools to really work very hard on this. And it'll be interesting to look in their Discord and see kind of how the pools are responding, which pools are going to be up and ready, and which pools are going to be participating in this. Just something that, from my perspective, is still up in the air. We are fully committed to growth and restoration. Following the next halving of Masternode rewards, the standard 45% distribution will be restored. We understand the impact this situation has, and we extend our sincerest apologies to each member of our community. Your trust means everything to us, and we are fully dedicated to always making things right and just. Now, for the particular timing on this, they released another post, and deposits and withdrawals will be suspended from block height 16,300 to 16,700. That's a total of 20 hours in total for the time of it being paused, approximately. Now, to give you an idea of when this will start, on the Block Explorer, we're at block 15,807 at the time of recording this video. This means essentially that we have about 24 hours before this process begins to take place. So if you have anything in exchanges that you want to liquidate just in case, or you want to move anything into an exchange or out of an exchange, you want to get that done within the next 24 hours so that you're not impacted if that was your plan to get that sold for power or whatever it may be. After that, about 48 hours from now, everything should be back online and running, right, on block 16,700. And this is the point at which essentially the miners will be receiving about 55% of the block rewards through a kind of janky method, or a bypass rail method, by sending the 10% of the block reward to the mining pools, and then that being distributed out part of the normal block reward to users. And that's going to be getting stripped away from the master nodes. There is, of course, in this particular case, the question of like, how are master node operators going to respond to this? Will there be more or less master nodes that end up getting stood up? A place where you can check that, of course, once again, is on the actual BlocX Explorer. Here you can see 87 master nodes running. You can click this little master node block and it will show you how many there are right now. So as of this time, we're looking at 87 master nodes. And my question will be, is after this implementation has taken place, how many of these master nodes will still be running? Go ahead and place your bets down in the comment section below. The miners are impacted right now, and all miners have pretty much stopped mining for good reason, because they're not receiving a reward. There's no incentive. There's only like 68 terahash still somehow going on miningpower.eu for some unknown reason that appears to be coming still from NiceHash. So those users need to get, you know, obviously on board here. They're losing money over the next 24 hours, but it is what it is. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. Now, as far as price action, since this took place over the past 24 hours on ZegX, we have seen, you know, a most recent change of going up 5%, but in reality, we've had a steady decline from about, I believe it was like 60 cents or something along those lines, 70 cents or 7 cents, excuse me, all the way down to 5 cents. So there's been, you know, a pretty stark drop in the price of BlocX, and I think deservedly so. This is why on this channel, you know, I talk about this a lot. We did talk about mining BlocX. If you guys followed along with me at sonofatech.locals.com, you know that I had already liquidated my BlocX. So I'm not holding on to any of it at this time. And that is the advantage of mining, right? I generate revenue over holding the coins. And this is part of the reason. You can always play the trade game if you like, along with your mining. Check out other trade analysis channels for those in particular. It's just not the strategy that I use. And so I'm in the clear here as far as this goes. More than likely, I will point my Dash miner back to the network. I will probably stand up another private pool for my particular unit and mine that directly, because I do think at the end of the day, with those additional block rewards, if the price kind of steadies out after this drop, it will still be more profitable than mining it on, or mining Dash, right? So that's kind of the reasoning behind it. So there is everything going on with the BlocX coin. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section down below. Hit the like while you're down there. Hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed, and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I make these important update videos about cryptocurrency mining in general. Check out my daily moves over at sonofatech.locals.com and become a supporter. You can get a month free of supporter status on Locals, included with a purchase of my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com. I will see you next Tuesday.